Wow, look at all these oil derricks. I think there must be a story behind them. I'm standing in the middle of the world's richest acre. It had so many oil derricks and so much oil pumped out of the ground that it was once known as the richest plot of land in the entire world. Okay, I'm not really this big, and they're not really this small. But let's look at some full-size versions. At one time in downtown Kilgore, Texas, there were more than 1,000 oil wells in the downtown area of the city. Can you imagine that? Now, most of these oil derricks aren't real. They're reproductions to commemorate and celebrate that oil boom time when so much money was being made and so much oil was being drilled out of this acre of land. And here's a typical oil pump of the kind that you see all over this part of Texas. And the oil derrick that's above it is really, really, really tall. It's kind of hard to believe that at one time these many oil derricks were actually in place right next to each other, making millions of dollars for a lot of people. And every one of these oil derricks has a star on top of it. Sometimes at night, they light the stars up, and that's why Kilgore is known as the City of Stars. The world's richest acre. I'm guessing there's no place like it in the world. It was an interesting time when Kilgore was a boom town. Let's go over to the East Texas Oil Museum and take a look at what life might have been like over 80 years ago. So now I'm heading into the East Texas Museum of Oil. What am I going to find in there? I don't know. Wesson oil? Tung oil? Olive oil? The mind boggles at the possibilities. But look at this oil derrick. This is so cool. It's made of wood. And way up on top of that oil derrick is a star. And when you look at this guy, his name is Joe Roughneck. I'm not going to mess with him. So here in the Oil Museum, pictures of the pictures are not allowed. But there's a lot of other things we're going to take a look at. Look at this old car. This must be what they carried the barrels of oil around in. Look at that, 1930 Texas. So this must have been what Kilgore looked like during the boom, 1930s. Let's see what Mom's cooking. Chocolate fondue. A lot in the elevator.
Everyone, those of you inside the elevator, be seated as far forward as possible. Now close both.
I don't know where the elevator goes, but I'm the only one in it.
The inner door.
Here in beautiful East Texas, there are lots of interesting things to do and see on top of the ground.
Shucks.
We're going to show you what's underground in the East Texas oil field.
Way underground. Whoa, whoa!
Whoa, we're moving.
Not too far now. That's good. Stop. Just below the grass is Queen City sand.
You can grow watermelons in it or get your car stuck in it.
But in other parts of Texas, it's deep underground and sometimes has oil in it. Come on,
Let's go
step on it, Hank, step on it.
No, we're going up.
Oh, good crazy teenage driver.
We're glad you could ride with us today.
Train floor, planet Earth. Y'all come back.
There's fruits, vegetables, flowers, all kinds of dry goods, toys. So this looks like the general store. It looks like the oil boom brought all kinds of business to Kilgore. What's the special? Why, I got Kellogg's All Bran. I like cereal. Look at this, an old-fashioned chewing gum dispenser. That is really cool. And here is a more newfangled chewing gum dispenser. I don't know if I want to eat any of the gum in there. Playing cards and dominoes. More dominoes. And an old-fashioned wheelchair. This looks like the one that old man Potter sat in. Aww, a puppy. Red Rider, ukulele. Some really cool stuff in here. And it looks like a lot of mining equipment. There's a lunchbox that they took down with them. And who knows if those locks protected. You know, if they paid attention to that detour sign, they wouldn't be in this mess. They're never going to get out of this mud. But he is carrying oil. But we won't need any oil to get this cart moving. All we need is a friendly man with an apple. If you just pull a little harder, I'll give you a shiny new apple. So I'm guessing this is Jack Yates. I have no idea how they're going to get out of this mud. And here's a printing press for the town newspaper. And an old-fashioned linotype machine. This is what they used to use to set type. And he's waiting for the latest story to break. Either that or he's taking a nap. You can see he's breathing. His chest puffs out. And I actually know how to operate this. I have a background in printing and I know how to run platen press. It's true. And look at that, October 4th, 1930, a gusher.
Just a little tough to get any sleep around here lately. Ever since Ian Bigman split it in our second oil well over on the Graham place. Wasn't too long ago, all you found around here was a sawmill, a couple of stores, farm families.
And they have a movie theater. Look at this old projector. I'd like 2 tickets, please. Ma'am? Ma'am, I'd like 2 tickets, please. She must be engrossed in a really good book. Ma'am, I'd like to buy a ticket. Ticket? There's the Marx Brothers. I got a great story about the Marx Brothers and how their career started right here in Texas. At first I thought this was a wanted poster, but he's actually running for sheriff. Nothing like a lazy day chatting at the barber shop.
Get some of that oil? Yes, sir. Things are looking up for most folks now. They've found that oil under all this soggy mud. I guess some folks will make a lot of money in the next few weeks. It'll change some people. Others will stay just about the same. Seems a tornado was coming up, and this farmer had come running out of his house and lays down his pea patch out back. Neighbor hollers at him, "You're going to get blown away. Why aren't you laying out there?" Farmer yelled back, "This pea patch has saved my life plenty of times. I figured it might just take care of me one more time."
Let's see what's going on at the bank.
Come on in the side and let me tell you a story too about this here oil boom. Yes, sir. The economy is really perking around these parts. The 2 Longview banks announced that deposits for the first 6 months of 1931 were $5 million ahead of the same period last year. The future of East Texas is real bright. If you have any extra money, invest in East Texas real estate.
Now this is a well put together safe. I don't think we're going to get through this one.
Others had 2 back to 1911.
And the big company and government geologists were positive there's no oil in East Texas. Well, Visit Jimmy Harris was out there at Daisy Bradford and saw the black gold come over the deck.
Of course, things have changed some in oil drilling. Dad's gusher was only about 3,500 feet deep. Now, drilling a well today can take maybe $4 to $12 million in materials and machines, and the skills in the field at the well. Drill bit in contact with oil.
Now look at these huge drill bits.
Look what it can do with only my arms and power. The bit is held at the bottom by thin lengths of pipe screwed together. They call it the drill string.
And this is a saltwater pipeline marker. If you ever see it, it means there's a buried pipeline in that area. The number indicates the size of the pipe. They say only 1 in 10 oil drillings ever produces any oil. So these guys have their work cut out for them. And eventually this is what the oil is going to produce: gasoline, motor oil, and other products. Oh, just what I need. A cool, refreshing Dr. Pepper. I knew it was too good to be true. Dr. Pepper from a tap? It's not going to happen. And look at that, the circus is coming to town. Looks like there's a lot of work for the Wright boys. Oh, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright. He can't hear me with all that machinery going. He's far too busy. Now this is real Texas. And with the wooden sidewalks, I feel like I'm walking in the Old West. And even though it was 1930s, places like Kilgore weren't all that far removed from the Old West. A lot of the buildings looked very similar to the way they may have looked 30 and 40 years prior. And someone left a checkerboard here, just ready to play. I'll make the opening move. Let's check out the drugstore. I'm about ready for a cool, refreshing Coca-Cola. Time remedies. 4 razor blades for 10 cents. And look at those old products. This place has got everything. They're posing for a picture. And it's less formal. They hung their hats up first. Get your picture taken in Beantown. I have to say, the service is less than desirable. I can't see a movie, I can't get a cold, refreshing Coke. Oh well, what can you expect when business is booming? Now these glass gas pumps were designed so people could see how much fuel is being dispensed. People took pictures of oil fires and they say you can see faces in the flames. Can you see them? And here's the oil well supply of Kilgore. Let's see what they have. Looks like some block and tackle. Looks like some drilling heads maybe. All the supplies. Pumping units can be ordered from their catalog. Lots of really interesting things to be had at the Oil Well Supply Company. Maybe we can return to simpler times and listen to some old-time radio. And here's a scale model of an oil rig. The only thing I have to say is those guys look awful skinny to be working on an oil rig. This is really amazing. They made the whole thing out of wood. Well, I have to move on because it got to be 5 o'clock and they kicked me out and locked the doors. And look at this, it's an old fire truck. But it's an old Mack truck. And it's not a fire truck at all. I thought it was a fire truck, but it's an ice wagon. Look at the size of those tires. Wow, that'll get through anything. Apparently the ice company was on 15th Avenue. They say trucks like this delivered ice during the oil boom. I don't suppose it's any surprise that they locked the doors and we can't get in to look at the truck, but it's still kind of fun to see through the glass. From Kilgore, Texas, and the world's richest acre, I'm Mark with the Average Me channel. Thanks for watching.